Macmillan Audio presents The Stars Are Dying by Chloe C. Peñaranda. Read for you by Jacci Pryor and Corvin King.
Prologue. He learned that dying, no matter how slow and painful the seconds before a final breath, was nothing compared to living infinite more days without the one he loved. No, love was too mundane a word for the split in his soul she cleaved in her wake. For 200 years, he'd watched the same constellation as though it were the only one in existence. Now it had begun to fade, a fraction every week that no other would notice. To him, it became a countdown. He faintly adjusted the magnification of the telescope so as not to miss a flicker, his sight mapping the 12 points. Always the same order. He didn't even know he'd adopted the pattern. Even in the fading light, she was magnificent. Yet he didn't plan to be here when the earth quaked for her return. Years, perhaps decades still from now. He didn't plan to remain the reason those cracks continued when she came back. Knowing this was the last time, he lingered a little longer. Then he sighed, stored the final sight, and pulled away. Sitting on the low ledge of the open archway window, he lifted the glass of liquor he held, clinking it against the metal telescope. I tried to find a way. It's been as hopeless as it was back then, he said. Over the years, he'd become so detached that no emotion plagued him now. But I'm also glad you won't get to see all that I've become. Your disappointment might just be the thing to break me. The alcohol burned down his throat as he tipped back the contents of the glass. His tight grip shattered it, but he didn't feel the slices through his palm. There was nothing that could hurt him anymore. I never got the chance to ask what you saw. A fist tightened in his chest, but the agony was all he had to remember how real she was, since time tried to blur the images. How you saw past it all, and for a fleeting moment, made me believe there was something good in me. I'm sorry you were wrong. Standing, he slung on his black cloak, steps crunching through the glass shards as if they were all that was left of his old existence. At least I won't be able to hurt you anymore. They all cowered at the hooded shadow that passed them, shrinking back, bowing their heads, avoiding his stare as he swept through the castle halls. The black, glittering marble of the floors, broken only by white pillars and the occasional sculpture, appeared sinister with the figure who occupied the space now. Before, there was beauty in these halls, but what was once the darkness of dreams and a clear night sky was now a kind of death. The people he swept by whispered a name, one that had attached itself to him not by choice, but by the sin he represented, the god he was all but a mortal form of. In the throne room, the ruler had been expecting him. He saw the leathery taloned wings of the guard the king was in conversation with before he was dismissed. A night crawler, perhaps the worst of the 3 vampire curses. Night crawlers couldn't touch the daylight. The hooded male spoke his intent. We agreed 1 century. I have given 2. Now I have come for what you owe me. His voice was as cold as ice and as dark as night. The king wore a crown, but it was as good as a child's costume, an image with hollow authority. At least without him. But he'd given far more time in service than they'd bargained for.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?